Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I just want to do another video. Okay, so there's a Gnostic text called the Pistis Sophia. I found bits of this in my Syriac, no, not my Syriac, but in my Odes and Psalms of Solomon book, and it only had it in Greek. And I was like, I want this text. What does this text say? So I finally looked it up. I don't know why a year ago I couldn't find it in English online. Now it's all over the place. So okay. So we can find PDFs from the 1800s with 2 books. But here in the Gnostic archive, we have 4 books. Very extensive, very extensive. Okay. Guys, hear me out before people will freak out and say heresy, heresy, heresy. Yeah. I thought this was heresy. When we first read about this, it definitely sounds like heresy, because the idea behind the Pistis Sophia is the female deity of wisdom. Okay, well, we know the Holy Spirit is translated as a female in the English. So, okay, hang on. Now, the Pistis Sophia is all about wisdom as this female deity falls from grace and has to be redeemed. Alright, that's how many are raising their hands saying that has nothing to do with our Bibles? That's heresy. Okay? The Pistis Sophia, she originates and dwells outside the divine realm. Her fall and redemption parallel that found in versions of the and she fell and needs to be redeemed. How many out there are saying heresy right away? Now let me explain. This is actually not heresy. This is biblical theology through a pagan lens. Now in my study of Adam and Eve, something I've shown, I mean, we could do hours of study of this. Okay, when Adam and Eve fell, they had the spirit of what? Wisdom. Alright, I did a video on this. This is why Jesus always said in the Gospels, "O you of little faith." Because in the first book of Adam and Eve, I think chapter 8, verse 3, if I can remember, they talk about them being stripped from their light bodies, and they're not able to see afar off anymore. They don't have the spirit of prophecy anymore. They're always panicking. They're always paranoid. They can't see afar off. And the scriptures tell us when we get redeemed, our glorified light bodies are also described as wisdom. We're going to have a spirit of wisdom. Like all the glory of Adam, we're going to have that spirit of prophecy. We're going to be able to see afar off. We can't even conceive of this stuff. And I think that's why Jesus always called us in the Gospels, "O you of little faith," because that's us in our fallen nature. Without our fallen nature, we had this spirit of prophecy that we really can't conceive of. We had wisdom that could see into the future. We weren't so paranoid and, lacking faith, and we always knew, what dies must be resurrected and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I really hope people can receive me. So with that knowledge, it kind of confirms this theology. It's just a biblical theology through a pagan lens. Okay? Now let's see what, this is just Wikipedia. Let's see what else it says about this Pistis Sophia. Okay? Now, this wisdom fell and has to be redeemed. But the actions all, and yes, we're fallen outside of the divine realm. So, biblically speaking, this isn't necessarily incorrect. Okay? Now, wisdom's fall and redemption parallel that found in versions, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. But the actions all take place in the material ages. Here we are. And wisdom can only be restored to her place in the 13th age outside the kingdom of light. That's according to this so-called Gnostic theology. Guys, We are in the age of rebellion. According to the Mayan calendar, we are in the 13th nocturne, the last nocturne before the Mayan calendar ended. We are in that 13th age this is true. This is true. 13 is the number of rebellion. It is the last age before the coming of Christ. So, what I always blew off as, oh, this is just some Gnostic doctrine, biblically speaking, it's correct. Alright, so here we go. Here's the index of what we have in our modern age. Extensive, extensive, extensive. Now, I just clicked on a random chapter. Chapter 102, random chapter. And it covers exactly what we've been covering through the revelations and mysteries of John, the light of the cross. Jesus continued again in the discourse and said unto his disciples, When I shall have gone into the light, then herald it unto the whole world, and say unto them, Cease not to seek day and night, and remit not yourselves until you find the mysteries of the light of the kingdom, which will purify you and make you into refined light and lead you into the light kingdom. This is exactly what we've been covering through the revelations of John, the apocryphal Acts of John. Renounce the world. Seek the light of the cross, which will purify you. This is, I haven't read the extent of this text, but so far, this is not heresy. It's just through a heretical lens. Amazing. So I want to find all of this in print. I just wanted to share this with you guys. Really, wow. Astounding. So I really pray people can receive this revelation about Adam and Eve, when before the fall they had what's called, they were able to see afar off, kind of like the Hebrew language. Why I truly believe the Hebrew language was the language of creation, as told in the Book of Jubilees and in Zephaniah 3:9, that prophecy. We're going to have a language of one consent when the Lord comes. I believe that's going to be Hebrew, because Hebrew is what? Wisdom. It speaks in past, present, future, all in the same time in multiple facets. That's how the Lord spoke. Anyone familiar with my testimony? And Hebrew is the exact same way. And that's how I believe it was before the fall. And this is why Jesus said, "O you of little faith," because we don't have that spirit of wisdom, which is talked about in the first book of Adam and Eve. It's talked about our glorified light bodies, and the scriptures are also classified, will be given light, will be given wisdom. So this doctrine of the Pistis Sophia, which all of us probably want to claim as heresy on the surface, is not necessarily heretical. It's just through a pagan lens. Amazing. Alright, guys. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks.